The Tippah County Football Halftime Show is brought to you by the Shark 1023, your Northeast Mississippi information station. The Shark crew is proud to support our Tippah County student athletes and bring you a word from the leaders of the North and South Tippah school districts during halftime.
Hey everybody, it's Melinda. Welcome to the Shark 1023 Halftime Show. I hope you are enjoying the game so far. Today, for our very first halftime show of the 2023 season, we have Assistant Principal Anita Hood, who is the Assistant Principal at Ripley High School. Anita, thanks so much for coming into Sun Bear Studio.
Oh, so glad to be here, Melinda. Thanks for the invite. Always a pleasure to speak with you.
Now, Anita, you and I have known each other for a very long time. We've worked together as colleagues for years and years, and it's no secret that you're one of my favorite administrators.
Same here, for sure.
So I would like for you to tell everybody about your career in education. How did you get where you are? Where'd you go to school? What all jobs did you hold before you held this one?
Okay. I was born in Ripley, so I've never left Ripley, love Ripley, went to school at Ripley. Graduated from Ripley High School, decided to stay around here and went to school at Blue Mountain College. Graduated there, got my first job at New Albany High School, but I was too chicken to actually move there, so I even stayed in Ripley while I worked at New Albany, and then 8 years later, I got an opportunity to come back to the high school I graduated, so I jumped on top of that and taught math all the way from 2001 to 2014. And then Mr. Buchanan came to me one day. I never really wanted to be an assistant principal, never thought about administration. I had actually only gotten my master's because Coach Katie Bates Hobson was like, come on, let's go get our master's. So I did. I didn't care what it was in because you get a little pay bump in education if you get your master's, but I'd gotten it in ed leadership. Mr. Buchanan came and said, hey, you want to be my assistant principal? And after some thought, I jumped on it. We have been a team since 2014, so this is our 10th year together, Mr. Buchanan and I.
Time sure does fly.
It does fly, doesn't it?
Wow. Right. Okay, now you were a math teacher.
Right.
And you're a pretty famous math teacher. There's a whole lot of younger teachers who try to model themselves after what you do or what you used to do in the classroom. So I would like for you to just describe a little bit about the unique way that you teach math.
I believe Martha Brannon called my class organized chaos one time, and that can kind of explain it. I'm not a lecture kind of teacher, very active, but always active in getting the job done. Lots of competitions, lots of chants, songs, anything to help kids remember different formulas or just ways to do stuff. So just interactive. My favorite part of teaching is engaging with the students. So I was never one to sit at my desk. We were going to be interactive with each other, and that's why I went into teaching to begin with. I've always known I wanted to teach and work with kids. So even in admin, I like to be in the cafeteria during lunch. Today I stood in line. There's still some freshmen I don't know. So as they're going through the cafeteria line, I'm like, hey, what's your name? And I'm trying to learn names. So interacting and trying to make a difference for our community is what I want to do. And I'm so glad to be back at Ripley to make that impact.
Did you mind being in a what they call a tested area where at the end of the year one of your subject area is tested and you're kind of put under a microscope? Did that bother you?
Oh, not at all. I'm way too competitive. I was probably more competitive than I should be in the classroom. Actually, Coach Lyles, if you're listening, you probably could use me on your staff because I am pretty competitive when it comes to that. I'm sure if you gave me a job on that football field, I would maximize it.
Yeah, and you had really good results too.
Oh, yeah.
Brag on yourself a little bit there because it's pretty awesome. The Ripley High School was known for, if you took algebra under Miss Hood, you were gonna pass.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to brag on myself, but I very rarely had anybody that did not pass and usually showed a lot of growth and proficiency. But I'm telling you, we have some teachers, since I've left, people have done as good or better than me. So there are still some great teachers at Ripley High School.
I doubt their songs are as crazy as yours.
I don't hear anybody else singing, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
You know, they always say that everybody kind of mourns when a good teacher moves up into an administrative position, but I believe that you've just taken the good that you were doing in the classroom and you've spread it out to an entire school. So tell me some of the ups and downs for teachers who might be listening out there who might be thinking about going into administration. Help them to think through that.
The ups are definitely that you feel like you have a say in how things are organized to make it better for teachers. And even though I've been here 10 years, I hope I have not, and I don't feel like I have lost my touch for what teachers feel like in the classroom. And we try to set things up for the students to be successful. And without somebody that really loves the classroom, you're not going to get those results. For example, we saw that our English scores of several years back were not as good as we wanted them to be. We were able to sit down and go, what could we do to help a kid? Well, we give them more English classes. So we have designed a program for a kid that struggles in English. They're going to take 2 years or 4 semesters of English before they take that state test, and hopefully they'll be able to pass that and graduate without as much stress as if they just had to take English 1, English 2. So we're able to provide those supports, and I do feel like somebody that loved the classroom as I did can bring that to the table, where somebody that just wants to be an admin and be bossy. I'm definitely not a leader that likes to be bossy. I really like to work with teachers and try to do what is best for the student.
What would you say is the downside?
Downside is you don't get to see kids as much, and that's why I have to stand in the cafeteria and try to learn their names. And if you're not careful in admin, if you don't get out of your office, you're only going to know the bad ones, because the bad ones are sent to you, and you've got to go looking for the good ones. But we have so much going on at Ripley High School that's good that I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for me to still get to engage with the kids in a meaningful way.
Yeah, give me an update on Ripley High School. What are some of the upcoming programs that are new?
Yeah, now what we're excited about, some stuff that's coming up. I made a list because I didn't want to forget. We started these last year, but they're really ramping up a little bit. We started a quiz bowl team, and that's really exciting. We got the whole buzzer system, and they're competing against schools. They'll go and do little quizzes, and they had a little success last year, but again, it's the first one, and they find out it's much harder than they think, but that's been awesome. And they meet after school with Mr. Kappelman. We also have a robotics club that started last year. Ashley gave us a tremendous grant for the last few years, so we bought a lot of robotics. And our goal this year is to compete at the catapult competition at Ole Miss. So we're trying to amp that up. And then we started a graphic journalism class that does all of our social media. They design hype videos and different presentations to keep our social media going, to keep that going. So we've got some good things about, like extra things, because we feel like we're getting better in the academic world. So it's time for us to start preparing our kids for more things other than just, can we pass a state test and graduate? So we're trying to expose them to a little bit more than we have in the last few years.
Do you plan to stay where you are for a while?
Oh, yes. I have the sweetest little kid, and he's going to be at Ripley High School for a while. So I'll be there as long as he is, and as long as they'll let me stay. I don't plan on moving. I love it there.
Anita, I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us and letting us in on all the great things that are happening at Ripley High School.
Oh, man, anytime. And I just want to give out a shout-out. Do I have a second to give a shout-out?
Give it, girl.
Okay. Man, I'm telling you, I've been in education this is my 23rd year. We have the best staff I've ever worked at. Every kid up there have the best opportunity to graduate and to do the best that they can in life. Our teachers care about the kids. They go out of their way to help our students, and we're just a team that I've never seen before. And you can see that through last year. We were ranked the 23rd high school in the state, and it's looking like we're still going to be at the top this year. Want to brag on our graduation rate, and you can see our teachers' fruits in our graduation rate. It is above 96%.
Oh, my lands.
Yeah, and it used to hang around in the 80s, and I'm just telling you, if you don't graduate from Ripley High School, you had to fight us going out the door, because we're going to find a way to help you graduate. And that's a whole staff thing, from Mr. Buchanan all the way to our custodial staff. We're just all about our kids, and decisions are made to help what's best for the kid.
Have the grade letter rankings come out?
No, they have not officially come out, but our scores look really good. So I'm very proud of our students and our staff, and it's really nice when all of your hard work can be seen by everyone in the community.
Okay, it's a good year to be a Tiger.
That's right.
That's it for this episode of the Shark 102.3 Halftime Show. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the game.
The Tippah County Football Halftime Show has been brought to you by the Shark 102.3. The Shark is proud to support our Tippah County student athletes and wishes all the band members, cheerleaders, dancers, and football players success and safety this season. The Shark rocks, and so do you.